All right. Right off the back, a slaughterhouse. We got this. All right. Let's check this out.
Have you ever heard the story of Prometheus? Let me start somewhere near the end.
All right. Let's see what's popping with this one, man. So we got Sick Boy episode 1, The Flame of Prometheus. Now, I believe this is coming off the back of Slaughterhouse from yesterday, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Man, we had such a good time reacting to that one, man. That was such a fire and fun song to react and break down. So I'm not too entirely caught up with why he's doing a series like this. Is this more based on his album? Okay. So let's see what's going on with this.
Let me start somewhere near the end.
That's kind of cryptic because that's literally like in our lifetime, you know, that's literally 60 years from now. Like I could be literally 100 years old witnessing this happening. This is kind of crazy. I'm glad he kind of did that though.
After the Great Collapse, the sick were rounded up like rabid stray dogs. Those who were strong enough were put to work in subterranean farms. First, they would be stripped of all dignity afforded to a human. Then, their bodies would be decontaminated and purged of the stench from the surface. In order to create an effective cog, you must first bleed out of all autonomy and free will.
Nigga, that's some sick merch. That's some sick merch. Ren, can I get a piece of that, please?
Autonomy and free will. He or she must stop being human and become a limb. Those who were deemed too sick for work were discarded. To keep them alive would only further drain the earth of vital resources. It was a kindness to let them die. For years, this is how the program would run. But, like many systems that came before it, it was at the mercy of chaos theory.
That's crazy. It's funny because chaos theory is something that Knox does on his albums. Chaos Theory 1, Chaos Theory 2. Ren is doing Sick Boy, but it's kind of crazy. But this is almost like reminiscent of Hunger Games, right? And this is literally prophetic because this is where we're going. We're literally fighting for resources now. And the earth is on its way to being stripped bare completely of resources. And nobody will be able to live comfortably on this planet. So to be in this kind of place feels very prophetic to me. And if we can't do anything about this happening, like, I don't know what's coming.
Kindness to let them die. For years, this is how the program would run. But, like many systems that came before it, it was at the mercy of chaos theory.
I like that futuristic beat right there.
Misunderstood. It is an oxymoron, a determined element of chaos, one that can send a whole system spiraling into mayhem.
Brandon.
There was a prophecy. It told of a genetic anomaly, a human girl whose DNA harbored immunity to the virus, a blueprint for the future. For decades, the humans searched, setting up a global infrastructure of testing facilities in vain. With time, the candle of hope burnt down to a blackened wick. Whispers?
I like that. That was such good imagery right there. The candle of hope burnt down to a wet blackened wick.
Time, the candle of hope burnt down to a blackened wick. Whispers of the prophecy could still be caught traveling on the wind between members of the sick. Rivaling factions saw it as nothing.
Bro, how do I do this? I said prophecy at the beginning of the video, and now he says prophecy again. How do I keep doing this?
Be caught traveling on the wind between members of the sick. Rivaling factions saw it as nothing but a dying superstition. Others clung to it like an amulet of hope. The rich,
yeah, he had this image in the video yesterday.
Used it as a method of control.
Nah, you go. You go. You got airtight humans, so we won't spoil it.
Desperation is a powerful drug. Above fear, above loyalty to the party, the Dominion understood this and used it to their advantage.
The imagery is kind of crazy because you got a head of thorns with a crown with a red veil over their head. Crown of thorns, red veil. Crown of thorns, red veil.
Powerful drug. Above fear, above loyalty to the party, the Dominion understood this and used it to their advantage. If you strip man of his basic needs, with enough time, he becomes a beast. Without shame and without morality. Primal. How ironic that the creations and brilliance of man should reduce him to his primal state. I guess with time, everything returns to source. While it was still part of protocol to test every subject for immunity to the virus, the outcome was predictable. There was no suspense. Any hope that testing would bear fruit died years ago. That is until we introduce chaos theory.
She screamed like homegirl that was on not Charmed, but what's that movie in the 90s with the witches? Her screams remind me of that girl. What is it? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Not Charmed, man. What is it? I can't remember it. Gotta remember to watch it all the way to the end. Oh, that's it. I like this. I like this idea. I wonder what's more to come with this. I would definitely love to know like what the prologue is and like what the story is of this. So I can kind of gain an understanding of what I'm watching. I'm listening, but this sounds very what's that type of thing where kind of like cyberpunk, you know? It's kind of got that cyberpunk kind of energy with it. Just looking at all the signs, man. Maybe I need to run it back. Everybody was getting the merch, which is fire, because they look like Akatsuki members from Naruto. Let me see. You throwing away the ones that were sick, but you're keeping the ones. And then it kind of reminds me of Blade Runner a little bit. If you guys watch Blade Runner, it reminds me of that because I think Blade Runner 2, no, the Blade Runner series is based off these trials and these kids being the ones that's essential for getting rid of this certain virus and stuff. Let me see. Many systems came before it. Chaos theory is often misunderstood. One that can send the whole system spiraling into mayhem. Kind of like an irregularity in the time travel. I would compare it to an irregularity. So there are people out there who have the chaos theory bug that can upset the whole system. And maybe that's the character of Ren. Setting up with gold test in vain. But you know what though? When you have somebody who carries the immunity, kind of like how Homegirl did on Resident Evil, the whole series, like nature is always going to balance itself. Like even no matter what humans do, nature is going to have an irregularity because nature knows that this shouldn't be. So it's going to give us the opportunity to correct it. And if it fails, it fails. And if it does it, it doesn't, you know? Rich and elite, of course, use it as a method of control. Yeah. Desperation is a powerful drug. But you see a lot of that with the elites too. They're desperate for control, so they're control the whole system and mechanisms that afford us all of our basic needs and keep us working and trying to survive and be able to keep up and stay up with the Joneses. But at the same time, they are at top, sitting up top of the buildings, watching us from a bird's eye view, seeing the chess pieces move. And they know where everything that we're doing. Like, we can't hide that from them. Like, they created these systems. They created the loopholes in the systems. And it's crazy as a human being to know we can still fight back, that nature is still on our side. But that seemed to be what happened in our society as well, is that we're being stripped of our basic needs and being built to depend on the system. And so once the food industry has been taken over, they're already buying airspace. They're already buying means and mechanisms of how to create your own water source. Like, everything that we deem our basic needs is being controlled. Like, I grew up in the 90s. All of a sudden, our water that we used to drink through the hose all the time, all of a sudden that water started tasting like lead. Now bottled water comes into play. So how, in order to stop us from drinking the faucet water, you poison the faucet water and then give us bottled water to buy. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Anyway, I like this concept. I want to see where this goes. Please continue to inform me when these drop. All right. So shout out to Ren. I need to get that merch. All right. I'm going to catch y'all at another one. All right. Peace.